Kevin Durant told ESPN yesterday that the top prospects should, quote, stay your bleep at home, work out, and get better on your own time. Durant then talked about his own experience at the 2007 Combine, saying, I remember it like it was yesterday. The strength coaches were laughing at me and bleep. They were giggling with each other that I couldn't lift 185 pounds, and I was like, all right, keep laughing, keep laughing. I was embarrassed at that point, but I'm like, give me a basketball, give me a ball. I knew nobody in that draft could guard me one-on-one, and I knew that you don't need to bench press to lift a basketball up. I was ranked the last person in camp drills-wise. I was the worst player and the first player that didn't get drafted. That tells you a lot about the significance of that bleep.
That about says it.
Skip, do you agree with KD?
He is so right about what he said, and I am so happy for him that he got this out of his system because, as he goes on in this interview with ESPN to say, it really hurt him. He got shamed and ridiculed. You can't lift 185 one rep one time. And just for the record, I was the biggest KD fan. I was back on a show called Cold Pizza, and I would just rave about KD and that he's going to win multiple scoring titles at the next level. And I got sometimes ridicule for that until one Bill Self came on to do a talkback interview. And he said, hey, I want to point something out. Skip is right about this. He's going to win multiple scoring titles because Bill Self at Kansas obviously had to deal with Kevin Durant when he was in Austin, Texas. So the point that he couldn't lift 185, I just laughed on air about that because it just doesn't matter. And we're back to the NFL. This is my motto about the NFL. The tape doesn't lie. You don't need combine. You just need to watch the tape or have watched him live in college basketball or in college football. So in this case, it said it all by saying nothing about the NBA Combine, that Kevin Durant finished last in all of the drills, especially in the lifting 185. What's the NFL Combine? 225. So he couldn't even lift 185. And yet, what happened with Kevin Durant? He went on to become the most dynamic draft pick since LeBron James, right? If you go back to 2003, LeBron James, and look at all the high picks.
Yeah. It's not even close.
It's not even close. It was Kevin Durant. And one reason we're back to there's no competition east or west in some cases, especially in the east, it's because so many of those draft picks, and we don't have time to go through them, but go look back at how many, they just weren't dynamic players. I'm not saying they were busts, but now we have two number ones up in Minnesota, and they weren't very good this year. The team wasn't very good, okay? So they're not game changers. They're not life changers and difference makers. So Kevin Durant, who didn't know he was going to be, again, he went second to Greg Oden in that draft, and I don't have any problem with that. Greg Oden just couldn't stay healthy, but I get it.
And that's the thing, Skip. You know a good big man is always going to go first.
So I'm not going to condemn that pick, but it just didn't work out because he couldn't stay healthy.
Injuries, correct.
Okay, so back to what is the best way to figure out whether a kid can play in the NBA? I do like it when these teams bring in a potential high pick, and they'll often have them play one-on-one against a veteran player, or sometimes two-on-two, or even three-on-three. Maybe you can get some sense against your vets. Oh, you can see, you can do this or that. Again, I'm just back to watch the tape. And did you watch him live in college basketball? But the NFL Combine, to me, is just, I've said this for years, it's just a joke. It proves nothing. I know it's a clearinghouse of interviews if you get your interview session, but it's not like there's a rule that's the only interview you're going to get with your quarterback that you want to take. You can bring them in. You can talk to them. You got lots of other time, so I don't know why you have to talk to them there. But I've said from the start, the NFL Combine, number one, it's a boys' night out for all the coaches and the assistants and the GMs and the personnel directors.
You go to St. Elmo's?
Yeah, go to St. Elmo's if you could get a reservation that week. But it's, how's it, 3-4 days? It's just a convention, an annual convention. Everybody gets together and talks about what happened during the season. And it's kind of a sham of a TV event for the NFL Network because it rates, I think, pretty well because a lot of people watch it.
And
then
they sell tickets. The fans can go watch it.
They sell tickets. And then invariably, John Ross is going to run a 4.2240, about 4.22. And Twitter is going to erupt with oohs and ahs. And everybody's going to be because it's you call it a track meet. It's the Olympics.
Football Olympics.
But what do you learn from the Combine? I say next to nothing unless you just watch the tape. maybe you can see how they react among their peers, who takes over the group or what. I don't know, but in the end, you should already know whether a kid can play or not.
Skip, I agree with everything you just said. And if you look at Kevin Durant, you can tell he's not a weight room guy. He doesn't have a Dwight Howard's body.
No.
He was never going to be the sculpted shoulders like a LeBron. That's not what he is. Imagine if they had had the combine and Larry Bird would have had to go. What place would he have finished, Skip? Larry couldn't run fast. He couldn't jump high. But I tell you what he could do. He could put that ball in the basket.
Yep.
Can you put the ball in the basket? The greatest players that play in the NBA, what can they do, Skip? They can score. They can put the ball in the basket. And that's what this young man could do. You know, what can he do at that drill? Okay, he gonna do suicides. Oh, he's fast. What the good is fast doing you if you can't put the ball in the hoop? The thing I don't get about the NFL combine, the only people that should run a 40-yard dash, maybe receivers or DBs.
Okay.
What lineman, offensive lineman or defensive lineman, is going to run 40 yards, Skip? None. The defensive lineman, okay, 10-yard shuttle. Let me see you do a 10-yard sprint and a change of direction. That's good. That's all I need to see. Kevin Durant benching 185. He's not pushing anybody up off him. Now, Kelly Oubre Jr., I know he can bench 225 because you see how he pushed Kelly Olynyk down here. Boy, I'm about to give you 100 headaches in here for setting that illegal screen on me.
Last night, Kelly Olynyk got the best of him a couple times. So go ahead.
He did. But, Skip, the basketball is not 185 pounds. Can he put the ball in the hoop? If you watch Kevin Durant in college, you watch how effortless he could score the basketball. You're talking about a guy that's 6'11", 7 foot tall with a 7-foot wingspan.
At least.
If you love Dirk Nowitzki, you wanted to marry this dude on first sight because he's a way more athletic Dirk Nowitzki.
And he has more range than Dirk ever had.
Dirk can't put the ball on the court like this. I mean, Dirk, all he's going to do, he put the ball, he's going to turn his back and go hit that 1-foot step fadeaway on you. Kevin Durant can put the ball on the hoop and get on the floor and go all the way to the hoop and dunk it. Pull up from 30. Can play defense, can rebound, can assist the ball. And you laughing at him because now the thing is, I don't believe you can rise in the draft at this combine like you can the NFL combine because John Ross, people thought he was fast. Skip, they didn't think this was out of the world fast. And so what happens? He starts to rise. Mike Mamula, you look at the tape, you're like, okay, but when you're 6'5" and you run 4'5", 4'6", and you jump out the gym, it's like we got to take this kid. Because we can't teach these kind of measurables. Either you born with that or you're not.
Okay, who was the flip side of Mike Mamula? Who ran the ugliest looking 40-yard dash in history?
With the ugliest body. I mean, he's standing there with those shoulders. I'm like, dude.
Love handles.
And then Skip, he had on the heaviest shoes. I think let me get the heaviest shoes I can find, and I'm gonna run my 40. You see everybody else wearing these light shoes. Tom like, give me the heaviest thing. Give me these linemen's. High tops, and I'm going to run a 40. And wonder why he ran 6'4". But guess what, Skip? You can measure all that. How high a guy can jump, how well he can change the direction or the light. I know they got a little light they touch in the NBA, and they touch back here. What's in there? You got to be able to measure that. So I agree with Kevin Durant. If I'm a top pick, I ain't going. And it used to be, you remember this, Skip, in the NFL combine, the top quarterbacks never threw. Now it's the top quarterbacks always throw now.
Yeah.
Because they've guilted them into it like what you hiding from. You scared of competition? Andrew Luck, you don't want to throw? RG3 here, y'all guilt me all you want to. Watch the tape and come see my pro day and bring me in and talk to me. Because if doing these little drills change your perception of me, you didn't really think that much of me or you thought too much of me to begin with.